Hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs show. This is the Vikings versus the Rams.
Yeah.
Woo! Monday Night Football, 8 p.m. Vikings Rams. Rams are home dogs. Vikings have to go on the road because they just blew it against the Lions last week on national television. Vikings are favored though, -1.5. Closest spread of the wild card weekend.
I really do love Stafford. I really do love Stafford in a playoff situation. I think that he just has what it takes. This is like one of those Baker Mayfield guys where he just does whatever it takes to win. Not in the aspect where he's gonna run somebody over, but he's gonna take the hits. He's gonna play.
Back in the day, he would run somebody over though.
Yeah, prime Stafford. Wish we could have him here, but he's always in prime effort, honestly. I think Stafford's gonna schematically just break the Vikings down. They're a very wishy-washy team, even though they're 14-3. I think their defense is spotty. Honestly, it's spotty. It's either turnover or touchdown with them. Honestly, they're kind of like a team full of Trayvon Diggs. It's either interception or touchdown. So I think that Stafford's going to pick them apart. Nakua, it's a tough game. In all honesty, I honestly don't know which way to go. And when I feel like that, I'm with experience and which quarterback I would more feel comfortable playing with or putting my money on, and that's Stafford. So Rams spread.
I'm going to take the Vikings here, but I will disagree with Cam on one thing that he said. I do feel like the Vikings defense will cause a little bit of problems just because of their heavy pressure rate. And Stafford is at this point in his career a statue in the pocket. And the way that the Vikings blitz, like, you know, they're going to get home a couple times. So that's kind of what went into my thinking of, all right, I'm going to go ahead and take in the Vikings. The Vikings defensive scheme, which they've been using all year with Flores, is to just go ahead and, we're going to have these simulated pressures. We're going to look like we're bringing eight, but no, we're going to drop eight. And then we're going to look like we're not blitzing. And then everybody's going to come. So that's very hard to figure out, especially from a McVay offense, which is very much predicated on play action passes and long developing routes. So, you're going to need to hold up on the front. So I think that with all things considered, everything going on in LA, I'm going to take the Vikings here.
You have the talent, obviously, on the LA offense with Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford. They've been there before. They know what they're dealing with. Um, I also just I don't. The Vikings ended off the season laying a giant turd in Detroit, and I think a guy, a natural born killer, as it seems record wise and everything you see, Kevin O'Connell, he's not. That's not going to sit easy with him. And I know everyone in that they're all in the same circle: McVay, O'Connell, Shanny,
LaFleur.
LaFleur, all those guys. They all know each other and whatnot. But fact of the matter is that Vikings are a good team. They had been all season. I don't think what they showed on Sunday against the Lions was that they're bad. I mean, you can't win 14 games with a bad team. That's just not how the league works. They're obviously a good team, and I think a lot of it depends on how Sam Darnold comes out. Rams defense isn't what it used to be in terms of just being ball hawkers, getting pressure all the time. So I think you'll have a little more time. I think Aaron Glenn did a great job last week of game planning for that offense, and Darnold just he wasn't on his game. I'm not going to sit here and say Sam Darnold is like way better than that, and he's a great quarterback now, but he's better than what he showed against Detroit. And like I said, Minnesota's been a good team all year. So I do believe Minnesota comes out with a win here. Nothing against the Rams. I think they did a great job this year. If you told me after week six or whatever, when they were 1-5, that they would have won the division, that would have been crazy. So they came back hard, and the addition of Nakua and getting Nakua and cutback is huge. But I think a lot of guys got a chip on the shoulder. Addison, Jefferson, Hawkinson, who just didn't have good games last week. Aaron Jones is going to be able to run the ball well. There's too many guys on there. And like you said, with the defense, they're going to be blitzing everywhere. And all it takes is for a couple sacks or for Stafford to throw a couple picks. And it's a common theme in these wild card matchups is you could see a lot of turnovers. You could see a lot of big negative plays or big chunk plays. But I think the Vikings win this, and I think do they go back to Detroit if they win this game?
Yeah.
Unless
It
Remember when
depends. It depends.
Dan Campbell was like, see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it.
yeah, that I did see that, but It's the lowest seed goes to Detroit, right?
Yeah, so it depends on who wins, who
Oh,
loses.
dude, I would love to see the Commanders win and go to Detroit and get boat raced. Although I hate Detroit too, so that's kind of conflicting for me. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Vikings here. It's a tough one to pick.
All right, I'll jump in here next. One thing that hasn't been mentioned yet is that these teams played this season, week 8. Uh, this was the game that stopped Cooper Kupp from becoming a Pittsburgh Steeler. Unfortunately,
Most forgettable game ever.
the Los Angeles Rams beat the Minnesota Vikings 30-20, who at that time were undefeated. The Vikings were. So that was a big win for the Rams. That kind of rejuvenated the ball club and got them to this point that they're currently at, being in the playoffs. However, I'm taking the Vikings. I think that they're too good of a football team to get bounced out first round. However, we kind of saw a preview of what's to come last week against Detroit. When it is a very high stakes game like it was last week, they do falter. And Sam Darnold, I think, is going to be paid $50 million regardless of what happens. Even if they lose this week, he's going to get a big contract from somebody. Um, so I think the Vikings win this game. I think the over is going to hit as well, 47.5. I just see this being a high scoring game. 30-10 was the score during the regular season. There's a lot of weapons on both sides: Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Jordan Addison, Puka Nacua, and solid running games as well. So I think that the Vikings take this one. We saw last week that when Sam Darnold is pressured, that he kind of isn't as great. And obviously, the Lions got a few of their guys back with Zadarius Smith and uh, Anzalone. The Vikings or the Rams defense isn't as good as the Lions defense is, but they got guys. They got Jared Verse. He's a stud rookie. So I think the Vikings win this. It's basically a pick 'em. It's a gut feeling type game. And yeah, once again, thoughts and prayers to LA.
The Vikings have been a great team all year. Yeah, they struggled against the Lions last week, whatever. The Lions are like the best team in football. Sam Darnold, everyone's been rallying for him. This is also, no one has said, probably the coaching matchup of the first round of the playoffs. This is the best. So there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff we see this game. I think how Andrew was saying, Sandy was saying that the last game's over was the mortal lock of the week. Like the lock, I think this game's over is the lock. Like if we were doing a lock of the week for playoffs, I think it would have been the over of this game. If someone's going to sling the rock and put up points, it's Matt fucking Stafford. Who knows how many years he has left? He's not going out fucking around. He is going out slinging that rock. And for the Vikings to win, they're going to have to outscore him. So I feel like the over of this game is inevitable. There's no way, as everyone mentioned, there's so much talent on both sides of the ball. Obviously the Rams have a top offense in the league. Kyron, Puka, Cooper Kupp, and the Vikings, Aaron Jones underrated running back, and even the receivers like Naylor, they be stepping up. They be having good games, and I feel like Darnold has been having a great season, and I think that's going to continue. And I think that they're probably going to beat the Rams. I think it's going to be high scoring, but I think it's going to be like 35-28 or something like that. And I can't believe the spread is only 1.5. I mean, the Rams obviously have a Hall of Fame offense, and they had a good end of the season to get into the playoffs, but they still are, what they are. Their defense is young, and it's not what it once was. Their offense is good, but Stafford, he makes mistakes. He's a gunslinger. They take a lot of shots, and the Vikings have just played good ball all year. I just feel like there's no way that they don't win this game by at least 1.5. That's ridiculous for a team that won that many games and was that good all year against a 9-8 team. Yeah, I feel like that's ridiculous. So definitely taking the Vikings. I feel like this is, I don't know how far they're gonna go. Even though they are one of the top teams, I don't know how far they're gonna go, but I definitely feel like this game they should win with some ease. And I think it's gonna be a fun game to watch, though. I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored, and I think that, like I said, he's not going to go out without a fight. So the over is my play of the whole week. Like if we were doing lock of the week, like I said, it'd be the over of this game. But I also think that the Vikings easily cover -1.5.
Tell your friends. Enjoy this weekend of football. You only get Super Wildcard weekend once. Everybody's got a chance right now in the dance. So let's enjoy it, and we'll see you next week.
Like and subscribe.
Yep, do that.